Can you solve this question using Desmos? Let's read it. It says, function f is a quadratic function. The graph of y equal f of x in the xy plane has a vertex at 4 and negative 6. So this is my vertex. Contains the point 3 and negative 8. So this is one of the points through which the curve is passing. And has a y-intercept at 0 and a. So the y-intercept is unknown. The graph of y equals 5 multiplied by f of x. So this is a different function. This function is a vertical dilation, a vertical stretch of the original function, which is f of x, because it's multiplied by a factor of 5. Y equal 5 multiplied by f of x has a y-intercept at 0 and b. So the b is the y-intercept of the second function. What's the positive difference between a and b? First of all, I'm going to define f of x using, now I'm not going to define it using an expression, an algebraic expression. I'm going to define it using a table. Then I'm going to use the table custom regression. This is a new type of regression. I'm going to use it in this question. I'm going to define the vertex. I'm going to define this point, which is the curve is passing through, which is 3 and negative 8, in order for Desmos to calculate me the y-intercept of the original function. And afterwards, I'm going to calculate the y-intercept of the second function, which is 5 multiplied by f of x. So let's see how. So this is my function, and this is the vertex form of it. It's y tilde a multiplied by x minus 4 raised to the power of 2 minus 6. I use this form in order to identify the vertex to Desmos. Desmos didn't know the vertex. He doesn't know the vertex of the function, so I have to identify it to him. So that's why I wrote it in that way. I wrote it in the vertex form, and I gave him the vertex is 4 and negative 6 in this way. Now he calculated the value of a. After calculating the value of a, he drew the function. As you can see, this is my function. What's the y-intercept of it? It's negative 38. He told me that we have another function, which is 5 multiplied by f of x. So we have another function, which is 5 multiplied by this one. This means that the y-intercept of the new function will be 5 multiplied by this coefficient, this number, which is negative 38. So the y-intercept of the second function will be 5 multiplied by negative 38. He's not asking for the y-intercept of the second function. He's asking for the positive difference between both y-intercepts. So this is the first y-intercept, which is 5 multiplied by negative 38, which resulted into negative 180. I'm going to subtract from it the y-intercept of the initial function, which is negative 38. It gave me negative 152. He's not asking for the negative difference. He's not asking for any difference. He's asking for the positive difference. That's why I have to take the absolute of this. So if I took the absolute of this, it's going to be positive 152. So this is my answer. 152, this is the positive difference between the two y-intercepts. Thanks for watching.